Hello everyone, and welcome to the Digimon unboxing video. This time we're going to be taking a look at the latest super complete selection animation Digimon Digivices, and these are of course the Ken and Daisuke D3s. Now I also do have the other D3s that have been released over time for a bit of comparison. We do of course have the original version 1 of the English or European or Southeast Asian release, the one we got in Australia as well, and we also have the original release of the D3, which is, you can very much see that these two are very much well loved. This was my first Digimon Digivice that I still have from when I was a kid, and this one was the first one that I imported over a decade ago now. So yeah, you can see that these are quite well loved, but in any case, these are the original releases, both inside and outside of Japan, and I also have the version 15th here, but of course I also have the original, well, I guess sort of original CSA for the D3, which was released in pink and green, both being TK and Hikari's respectively. So these are just the complete selection animation and not the super complete selection animation. So we'll have a quick look at this first before we dive into these new releases, just to see the difference between the two. So I'll just slide on that back door there, and it would help to switch it on first from the switch on the back. So, fairly basic in terms of the functionality of the complete selection animation. The screen lights up a little bit when there's the digivolving, and it makes noises, but that's all it does. The screen doesn't change, it's just this static evolution background with the light, and the lights change colour. And it also changes to TKs as well, but only does those two characters, not the whole cast, like the D3 for Tri does, which I guess makes sense because in Tri the only characters with D3s were TK and Kari. Interestingly, this is the only Hikari D3 there is. They never released Hikari's pink D3 in either the English release or the Japanese release. This is the Hikari and Miyako model of the D3, but it was only released in the red and white or this blue and white, which is interesting because this is not actually any character's colour. This is just a random choice they made, which is very Bandai Southeast Asia of them, honestly, to just invent a colour. So yeah, we do have the other Digivices, but these, of course, like the Japanese one, are also a pedometer toy and not a sound and light toy like we have with the CSA here, and of course with the SCSA that we will look at now. I just wanted to compare those just to show you what other D3s are available. So, if you're not sure what a Super CSA is, it's basically like a slightly more advanced version of the CSA that I just showed you. That is, it's not really a game toy, it's more of a display or cosplay prop, or just a cool little thing. It's a collector's item rather than a completely playable toy. Now, I would still count these as toys, but they're not the playable games that the other D3 releases are. And the first thing I've noticed is this is huge and kind of ugly. Now, I don't know why I put my comparison D3s to the side just before, because I still want them to compare the size, but these are, I don't know why, but the Super CSA is just absolutely huge. Like, and not, like, I don't think these look particularly fantastic, if I'm being honest, compared to the other Super CSAs we've had, which look effectively just like the other Digivice toys of the same model. These, on the other hand, they're huge. They're kind of a little bit ugly. Like, I remember seeing them in the render, and I thought, wow, that looks nothing like a D3. It looks like various D3 toys that were released that had other purposes, like, you know those, they're really popular toys, I'm not sure if they're still popular anymore, but they'd have like a little bit of film there, and you'd put your eye there, and you'd look through it, and you'd press a button, and it would cycle through pictures. Like, I had a D3 version of that, and it was Iori's yellow D3, and it looks exactly like that. And I also have the D3 marble pointer shooter thing, and it also looks like this. It's big, it's blocky. It also looks like the bad official art in the Digimon Mag comic books that I've gone through before. It just doesn't look right. To me, the version 15th and the original Japanese D3 look more show accurate. Of course, the English releases less so, but to me, like, that doesn't look right to me. They've even kind of edited the look of it to make it look more like it, but even then, it just does not look right. I'm not a fan of the design for this. I love the D3, but I don't know what they did with the size. It just looks off. It doesn't look like the D3 is meant to look, at least in my mind. And that is disappointing. I remember seeing the renders of this when this was first announced. I'm going to need a bigger screwdriver. When this was first announced, and I thought, wow, that looks really ugly, but sometimes I'm not having any luck with the screws. But yeah, I thought, oh, it's really ugly, but it's probably just a bad render. That happens. We saw it with, we've seen it before a few times, but I think it was the second wave of the Japanese DM20s. They looked really weird, but when they actually were released, they didn't look as bad. So, yep, we've got the AAA batteries, which I just learnt. The Japanese version calls it a tanyon, so kind of like a size 4, with AA being a size 3. I had to Google that because I wasn't actually sure. I hadn't actually ever paid attention, but that's a cool little bit of trivia for you there. But yeah, I do not like the design of the D3, of this D3 for the Super CSA. It looks ugly. It looks like it's bootleg. It doesn't look real. It doesn't look, to me, it doesn't look show accurate. I don't know why they went with such a weird design. I don't know why the antenna is so much bigger, but that screen looks pretty good. Like, I'm happy with the display. That display looks really nice. And again, I won't play too much music because I don't want to have issues fighting with copyright for this. But yeah, basically all of the gameplay that I'm going to be, quote-unquote gameplay, is all you can do on this. So you basically watch clips of the evolutions, and it plays music. So again, it's like a more advanced version of this. It plays the animation, the full animation. This one doesn't. This one just plays the music and the voice effects. So it is a more advanced version of that original CSA, and it shows the cute little animations, which I guess are kind of like scaled down from their actual scenes in the show. Pretty sure that was from the Digimon movie, Hurricane Touchdown. And we also get the analyzer as well. And we got the Evolution to Champion, the DNA Digivolution. And again, it looks pretty cool. Like, I'm happy with like the display. The sound is a little bit distorted. I noticed that with pretty much all the Super CSAs. I think the detectors CSAs had, or SCSAs rather, had better sound, but the D-Arcs I noticed had that kind of, it's distorted. The speakers aren't super amazing on these, which is a shame. I feel like the speakers on the CSAs were better, but yeah, it's kind of fine. So yeah, we've got voice action evolution, where it asks you, did you met that up? I don't think it likes, nothing likes my voice. Everything voice activated doesn't like my voice. Well, unless it's like a more expensive thing, like a Google Home. But toys do not like my voice. Maybe I need to be closer. Did you met that up? Maybe I need to like shout it out more. I don't know. But there's that, which is kind of cool. So you can sort of trigger the evolution. But again, I'm not too optimistic that it's going to work with me because these kind of things don't. Okay, so you can also tell that it has Japanese voice, but the text here is obviously in English. I didn't set that. There is... Oh, that's kind of cool. So there is no English or Japanese version. This is the, as far as I'm aware, the only version. And yeah, so it plays music, which is cool, but it's similar to the other ones. And you can connect them with the other Super CSAs for special clips. And there's also the digital map, which, again, they all have something like that, where they show the little map or the little detector from the season, and they have little animations that play. So it's kind of cute, and the map will, change that you've knocked down that black tower. So that's the gameplay, like quote-unquote gameplay. A few people have asked me on my other ones, hey, why don't you show us the gameplay? I do go through all of the mechanics, quote-unquote mechanics, on these Super CSAs. This is the extent of them. There's no game. They're just kind of like cute little collector nostalgia pieces that would typically, I say, are good cosplay pieces, but I don't think this looks anything like the D3. Or, I mean, it does, but it also doesn't. I wouldn't use it for a cosplay piece. I'd probably still use my blue version 15th if I'm cosplaying Daisuke, for example. So, yeah, they don't look good. They don't look as good as the other Super CSAs, but the boxes look really nice, and they're really nice display boxes. I don't usually keep the boxes for my Digivices, but, oh yeah, also there's a card. So that's kind of cool, and I'm assuming there's one in here too, and yeah, it's the same card. So there's that promo card as well, or rather the alternate art for BT888, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I don't think that these look particularly amazing. I like the D3, I like the mechanics, and I'm a collector. I like them as collector pieces, but they don't look as good or as show accurate as the ones from just the regular Digivice toys. The ones with the gameplay. Something to note is that I think that the D-Scanner, which is the Digimon Frontier Digivice for the Super CSA, probably looked the best in terms of being show accurate. It had a little bit more size to it that the D-Scanner and Detector toys didn't. It has that little extra weight, and it actually feels really good. And I did a video on that. It's on this channel. Just search for Super CSA. I've done videos on all the CSA and Super CSA models, so take a look. And in terms of where I bought these, because that's always a question that gets asked in the comments, even if I answer it anyway, I got these, and this video is not sponsored. I'll mention a few other places you can get them from. This is just me helping fans get toys, I guess. But I got these particular ones from Army, which I have been using for years. They have been around for a long time. it's not just Digimon. They have a lot of other Japanese-only merchandise and shirts and stuff like that. I didn't expect them to get these. I was kind of surprised. How did I turn that on before? It was just... There we are. Oh, it has a different intro because it's evil and edgy, I suppose. So that's cool. But yeah, so I got these from Army Army. Didn't expect them to come up on Army Army, but was very happy that they did. Army Army offers pay later, which is always good because sometimes pre-orders just open and you might want to budget for something first. So of course you can just pre-order it, and then once the thing releases, you then pay for it. Again, not sponsored, just have been using Army Army for years. You can of course also get these from the usual places I recommend, like Japan You Want, Hobby Genki, which is one that's newer to me, but I've been using more recently. And, we also have Skull Greymon and Metal Greymon, that's kind of cool. And also Zen and TCG, of course. I typically recommend Zen and TCG the most. Yes, they have sponsored videos of mine in the past. This video, again, not sponsored, but I would probably recommend them over a lot of other places just because they feel more like fans running something for other fans, which is nice. But of course, different websites may suit you better or worse depending on where you are, depending on the cost of shipping. Zen and TCG tends to have high shipping for me, so I may not always use them depending on how bad the shipping costs are. Japan You Want has pretty standard shipping costs that are just always the same as far as I can tell. Army Army sort of adjusts it to how much you buy, but they have more shipping options available because, of course, they're more of a bigger company rather than just like a small company like Japan You Want or Zen and TCG. Japan You Want, I've been using less often because their prices have really been not so good lately, especially after release. So the thing with these is they are premium Bandai, which means that they effectively are pre-order only, and Japan You Want recently has kind of increased the prices by quite a bit after the actual release of the thing. So you can still get something from Japan You Want. I still do if the prices are right, but it just makes me more hesitant to buy something when the prices hike up that much after release. Of course, you can also use proxy services. I use those less. So proxy services like Bai, which have sponsored videos in the past, and From Japan, which I've been using for ages. Those are also good options. You just put in the link from the Japanese website and they buy it for you. And then, of course, you pay them too, obviously, and then they ship it out to you. That is cool, but it tends to be more expensive for me. So that is an option there. But again, I will typically use I'll use whatever is cheapest, or if I have points for whatever website it is. So, kind of interesting that this one's more focused on the Dark Evolutions, which is really cool. There seems to be more to it, because I'm assuming you can also get Wormmon, but for some reason it's not letting me have Wormmon. Let's see if it goes to reset, if I can. So it's got the other one, it's got mode change, which I'm assuming is changing from the Dark Digivice to, there we are. We're hearing Ken have a meltdown, that's cool and fun, and then we get Minomon, I think that one's his. I think that's his name, Minomon. Minomon and Leafmon is the one with the leaf, so I'm assuming that's Minomon. But yeah, more or less the same sort of thing as the blue, as Daisuke's Digivice, but of course it has the Dark Digivice abilities, which is pretty cool. And if you have to get one, I would probably recommend this one because it has that extra bit of functionality in terms of you can have the dark Digivices as well. And I always think that's pretty cool. Of course, the other features are all the same as the blue one. So let's see what the link feature is. I keep on pressing that because I'm used to that opening the menu from the toys. So let's do DNA Digivolution. Yeah, the sound where you say Digimetal up and it's meant to work, I didn't expect that to be working particularly fantastically anyway. Okay, so I'm assuming you just point them at each other. And they talk to each other, which is that's a kind of cool feature. They do have that on the D-Scanner Super CSA as well. But that is kind of cool. But yeah, the voice one I didn't expect to work particularly well. Maybe you have to scream it exactly like they do in the show, which I'm exhausted right now. I don't feel like yelling at the top of my lungs, Digimetal up! But maybe I'll try again. So that's kind of cool. So you get them to interact. It's, yeah, again, similar to the D-Scanner. And now we have Paildramon on the home screen. I keep on pressing the top button. Ah, it was that one, wasn't it? Okay, time to be cringe. Digimetal up! Okay, that worked. That's kind of cool. Like, I would have loved that as a kid because I was always screaming Digimetal up when I was playing with the this one. I'd just be screaming it out when they were evolving in the show or on my Digivice or just when I was playing with the figures. It's just kind of a fun thing. So I think that's pretty cool. But again, the design of this just looks so not good. I don't like that. I don't know why they made it like this. It looks ugly. I don't know why. The antenna, I think, is the main part. It also just looks wrong. Like, I don't know why. It just looks wrong. There's just a few things. It just looks weird. So that's basically all of it. There's no secret game. I get asked that a lot when I do videos on the Super CSAs. No, there's no secret other functionality. There's no pedometer quest-based game. It's just kind of a cool, neat prop. And it doesn't even look show accurate. Would I recommend these? If you really like Digimon Adventure 02 or you are a collector and you like having the Super CSAs, yeah, sure, but I don't think they're the best Super CSAs there are. They look, yeah, ugly, kind of, and not really as show accurate as you would probably hope. Again, this one is the CSA for the Digimon Adventure Tri D3, and yes, they look kind of different because they have a slightly different design in Tri for no reason. They just got an animation upgrade, I guess, but they look different. So that's kind of the way they look. It is, of course, more interesting with the Super CSAs than the CSAs, which, again, as I showed you before, are just lights and sound. This is actually animation as well. And also, I just want to highlight the sheer size of this thing because, goodness gracious, that is just... He's a big boy. But, yeah, that's the quote-unquote gameplay of the Super CSAs. Similar to all the other Super CSAs. We do, of course, know that there's a colour version of the not D3, the Digivice from Season 1, which has actual gameplay to it and seems to be a cross between a Super CSA and a more gameplay-oriented toy, so that's kind of cool. I'm not sure if we're going to be getting a Super CSA Digivice. We did get a lot of their CSA Digivices, but in terms of Super CSA, I'm kind of hoping that this is the end, though I feel like a Digivice IC would be cool as a Super CSA, but I think it'd be even cooler as a playable sort of one, like the upcoming Color Digivice that I've mentioned in a previous video. But anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know your comments, questions, etc., in the comment section below. And subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video for, I don't know, this design is just weird. But yeah, as I said, subscribe if you haven't already. Please check out my other videos, especially my other videos on the CSA and Super CSA models. And of course, tell your friends, family, etc., Tell them to subscribe as well. And of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!